Hello everyone, this is Xinhua News Agency live on Twitter, Facebook and YouTube. I'm Bo Ning. So today I'm at the 2020 China Space Conference in Fuzhou, the capital city of Fujian province in East China. So behind me is a model of a spacecraft re-entry module. And I bet most of us have seen one of these on television or exhibitions like this. But today I can actually go inside and find out what might feel like to be an astronaut. So now let's get in. Our cameraman will show you what it feels like, and I will put on a VR headset and let's try it now. Okay, I'm getting on board. And there are two seats here, and I will put on this VR headset. Okay, I'm ready. So this model will simulate different phases of a moon mission, from rocket launch to the process of entering into orbit. So now I'm heading towards, as I can see in the VR headset, I'm heading towards to the launch tower, and I'm getting ready. It feels very real, as if I'm the astronaut.
Shenzhou 15号载人登月飞行任务准备完毕，请指示出发。是，敬礼。
Okay, so this is the opening part, and I'm going to get on board the spacecraft. It looks very real. And now
发射50秒准备。
I'm getting ready, and
发射20秒准备。
20 seconds countdown before the launch.
10、
It feels
9、
exciting.
8、7、
7,
6、
6,
5、
5,
4、
4,
3、
3,
2、
2,
1，
1.
点火。
Lift off. I can see the spacecraft is rocketing to the sky, and as if I'm on it. The model is shaking right now. And now I guess I'm inside the re-entry module,
程序转弯。
and I can see a panel over here.
酒泉科学，跟踪正常。
And
跟
I
风
can
飞行正
see
常。
through the window that I'm
金山 USB
rocketing
飞
to
行
the
正常。
sky.
酒泉助推器分离。
And now I'm in
酒泉
space.
1、2级分离。
It's really amazing. I can see all the stars above my head.
东风1、2级分离。
And
跟踪
now,
光学 USB 雷达跟踪正
now
常。
the
遥
spacecraft
测
is
信号正常。
flying in
东风
space,
飞行正
and
常。
it feels more peaceful right now. It's more quiet.
东风抛整流罩。渭南雷达发现目标。东风2级主机关机。
Okay, now here I can see Earth. Wow, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's very funny. It's a very interesting experience because I haven't experienced anything like this before. So thank you so much. So we can see there are also other devices here. We can experience, this is landing on Earth. This device can simulate the process of landing on Earth. And on the other side, we can see there is a model that simulates the process of landing on Mars and getting out of Mars. So now let's go to our next stop. Let's go this way. So space technology is not just about sending satellites into space or exploring other planets and galaxies. Actually, it might sound unusual, but seedlings can be cultivated in space. And now we are going to see some space breeding, which is what we call it in China. So this way. As we can see here, this is a space breeding Chinese rose. It's tiny, it's much smaller than our everyday Chinese roses. And here we can see vegetables, space breeding vegetables. Let's get a close-up of these vegetables. Yeah, so as we can see here, there are tower cucumbers, tower gourds and beans. And here we got bitter gourds and space breeding pumpkins and space breeding cucumbers. And here is another kind of space breeding cucumbers. And also here we got all kinds of space breeding pumpkins. So let's get more close-ups. So space breeding is a technology that combines astronautics with agricultural sciences. The first step is sending seeds into space by a spacecraft. After that, seeds undergo mutation in the space environment. Later, they return to Earth after traveling in space for a while. The mutated seeds are then selected and planted on Earth. They breed new varieties with higher qualities and yield. So, and we can see here, there are more space breeding things. So this is a model of a giant space breeding pumpkin. It's only a model, but the space breeding pumpkin can weigh about 50 to 150 kilograms. And the flesh of it is very thick and it's nutritious. And down here we can see some real space breeding fungi, as we can see here. So this is what we call Ganoderma. It's a Chinese herb, and here is winter warm summer herb and Lactobacillus. So these fungi have been carried into space by the trial version of Chinese new generation manned spaceship and a cargo return capsule early this year. So these fungi can be used in pharmacy. So China has been working on space breeding technology for more than 30 years, and it now has conducted over 70 experiments. And statistics show that over 6,000 space breeding seeds have been sent into space, and 200 of them have been selected and planted on Earth. So it can provide provide more options it provides more options for agricultural scientists to pick up different kinds of seeds and to cultivate plants. So now we are going to see something more. So we have experienced what it feels like to be in a spacecraft re-entry module in a moon mission, and now we are going to see something about our Mars mission. So here, as we can see, this is a half-scale Mars rover model of China's first, a half-scale model of China's first Mars rover. So about 2 months ago, China successfully launched a Mars probe carrying its prototype, the Mars rover, into space. the probe Tianwen-1 was carried by China's largest launch vehicle, Long March. Can we get a close-up? Long March 5 rocket to the sky, and the probe has traveled more than 137 million kilometers by last week. And it's expected to land on Mars around May next year. So after the landing, the Mars rover will be released to conduct scientific exploration with an expected lifespan of at least 90 Martian days, which is about 3 months on Earth. We can see it in different directions, in different angles. It's only a half-scale model of China's first Mars rover. So after landing, the Mars rover will be released to conduct scientific exploration. And it has 5 scientific goals. Number 1, mapping the morphology and geological structure. And number 2, investigating surface soil characteristics and water ice distribution. And number 3, analyzing the surface material composition. Number 4, measuring the ionosphere and the characteristics of the Martian climate and environment at the surface. Last but not least, perceiving the physical fields and internal structure of Mars. So far, the Mars rover doesn't have a name, but the China National Space Administration has launched a global naming campaign for the Mars rover. And I can't wait to know what it will be called in the future. And now let's head to our next stop. So next to the model of our Mars rover, here is a full-scale model of China's moon probe, Chang'e 4. So as we can see here, so last year the probe has realized the first ever soft landing on the far side of the moon. It's quite amazing. And by the end of last month, the probe has survived more than 600 Earth days on the moon's far side while conducting scientific investigations. And as we can see here, there are many parts of the probe. It's a full-scale model. It's full-scale models. We can get some close-up here. So the Rover Yutu-2, here is the Rover Yutu-2, and Yutu-2 has worked much longer than its 3-month design life, becoming the longest working lunar rover on the moon. And here we go. So here is a model showing the process, the docking process of China's Tiangong and Tianzhou. So after seeing all these scale models, I'm now going to take you to check out something real, the real Shenzhou 11 spacecraft re-entry module. So as we can see here, this is the real Shenzhou 11 spacecraft re-entry module, and beside it is a spacesuit that was worn by an astronaut who was once in that module. So we can get some close-ups to see this. I bet for many space enthusiasts, it's very thrilled to see these real things. So Shenzhou 11 was China's 6th crewed spacecraft 2 days after its launch in October 2016, the spacecraft docked with China's first space lab, Tiangong-2, and the 2 astronauts stayed there for 30 days. And now we are seeing the re-entry module of Shenzhou 11 spacecraft. We can see it's a little bit dark on the surface, and up here is its parachute, which helped it when landing. It's a huge parachute. So the Shenzhou 11 mission transported personnel and materials between Earth and Tiangong-2 Space Lab and tested meeting, docking, and return processes. It conducted aerospace medical experiments, space science experiments, and in-orbit maintenance. This re-entry module landed in central China's Inner Mongolia in November 2016, carrying 2 astronauts. So the mission is a key step towards China's aim of building a permanent manned space station. And the space station will enter into full service around 2022 with an initial design life of at least 10 years. So we've seen many things that China has achieved in space exploration today, and now I really want to take you back to half a decade ago when China just began its exploration of the universe. So as we can see at this exhibition, there are many other things. We can see models of China's rockets. So 50 years ago, on April 24th, 1970, China successfully launched its first man-made satellite into space, which is Dongfang Hong-1. So since 2016, the country has set April 24th as the country's space day. And here we are. We are now seeing a full-scale model of Dongfang Hong-1, which is China's first man-made satellite. It was sent into space 50 years ago on April 24th, 1970. Let's get a close-up. And decades later, in 2003, China launched its first manned spacecraft with astronaut Yang Liwei aboard. It's the Shenzhou 5 spacecraft. And I still remember in 2003 watching the Shenzhou 5 rocketing to the sky while my primary school halted all classes so that all the students can watch the live broadcast. It felt very, very shocked to see the spacecraft rocketing to the sky and knowing someone is sitting in it. And now 17 years later today, China has sent probes into to the moon and also to Mars. And China has also, China's space lab, Tiangong-2, has also been working in orbit for over 1,000 days. So in the past 50 years, China has never stopped its exploration of the universe and also its peaceful use of outer space. And so that's all for our today's show. I'm Bo-Ning with Xinhua News Agency. And I hope you enjoyed the exhibition at the 2020 China Space Conference. And so that's all for today's show. If you are interested in China and interested in the country's scientific progress, please remember to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. And so see you next time. Bye.